Hi, everyone. It's Dr. T here. And as I wrap up an amazing day of client transformations, I just find that I just want to celebrate and all of the ways that we usually celebrate things by just going out and doing stuff and going to dinner and really cheersing to all of our clients' success. It's a different world. And so I'm just reminded that I can celebrate with all of you and really give just major props to all the people, all of our clients, and all of the people, all of you out there that are really working to grow your emotional capacity for the world that we're living in and the life that you want to be leading. So, I've been thinking a lot about all of the conversations about self isolation. And I've been doing a lot of interviews in the media. And this is, of course, the topic. And I'm definitely feeling that experience of wanting to be so connected and out and about and doing things. And again, really celebrating life. And, as things are different and people are going through these changes and this whole concept and this whole experience of self-isolating. I was talking to somebody on an interview, on a media interview, and the reality is that self-isolation is not necessarily a new thing. uh, all of the years that I've been doing consultations for people, what I've been learning is that people who are highly emotionally sensitive often feel very isolated no matter what it is that's going on in the world. They can feel like because they're so sensitive and they experience things so intensely, they're often putting on a mask and wearing a social mask and putting on a facade, acting strong when they don't necessarily feel strong. And so self-isolation is actually sort of, I think it's a contagion that's been going on for a very, very long time. And all of the years that I have been working with people to help them have changes in their emotional infrastructure and the way that they can respond to life in the way that they want to so that they can create the life that they want to. One of the core things that our entire company and our business and our mission and all of our lives here at Dr. Tracy Inc. are built on is the experience of self connection. And the experience of self connection is having yourself available to yourself, emotionally available, right? And having all of your capacity there to create whatever experience you want and to shift your experience at literally any moment that you want to. And so self isolation is really something that has been going on for so long, and people have been experiencing it in so many different ways that now it's just sort of more in our face that that's the reality of what's going on. And even talking to a client today, we were talking about how now that her husband is home, she's recognizing just how isolated they've been in their marriage, even though now he's working from home, and she's seeing these relationship patterns, and she's recognizing even though that we're there together, she's recognizing the level of isolation that can happen even when people are right there in the same house together. And we all know that everybody wants to connect, wants to collaborate. That's what we're here to do as people. We're purpose driven people wanting to collaborate and create together. And the foundation of that, how that happens, is to be able to create with your own self. And so, in all of what's going on, this is the biggest opportunity amongst all of this difficulty, as people can feel idle and useless and struggling, to build a connection with yourself, to build a relationship with yourself, and to begin to really self monitor all of the things that you say to yourself and all of the things that are not factual and are distorted and are not going to drive your experience forward in a way that you want to, right? We kind of tend to think that we can be casual about how we are with our own selves. And the reality is, our relationship with ourselves is the relationship that we have with with everyone and everything. And when we take that relationship with ourselves to a whole other level, where we begin to talk to ourselves in an accurate way, we speak factually, we speak functionally, and we speak in a way that is creative for our future, then immediately you start to feel a shift inside yourself. And that shift is what resonates in everyone around you. And the big invitation right here, right now, is the invitation that every one of our clients have when they come into our emotional training program, any of our programs, which is to make a priority and a commitment of a relationship with yourself that is creative and constructive, and actually nothing about it is casual. Everything that we are doing is cause and effect, and how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to what is going on will create all of our reality that is to come. And so, even though there is all this experience of self isolation, there has never been a better time to build self connection. And for anybody that wants to know the more practical, tactical steps to doing that, this is one of our, this is the foundation of our emotional training programs. And one of our training programs is actually called the Dr. T Solution. And it's the one that is at our lowest fee structure. And we created it so that anybody could do it on any budget. I've got the link here right there. And so if anybody wants to know the mechanics of what it means to build an amazing relationship with yourself, we walk you through every single practical, tactical step, because these are things that we've not been taught how to do it. And it's kind of confusing, right? It can seem like I'm just supposed to get a lot of massages or get a lot of pedicures or things like that. But there's a lot more to it. And one of the most important parts that I want to give everybody is that it's about a level of self-monitoring that helps you know whether or not you are in a reactive experience with yourself, or where you're in an intentional one, where you're actually constructing the future you want. So as you all build that relationship with yourself, and for some of you that may just like realize like I just want to start one with myself, you can check out the Dr. T Solution and get yourself started and go through the program, so that through all of what's going on here, you ultimately can come out the other side of this as the most emotionally strongest version of yourself. And I'm seeing something from Jessica. Oh yeah, speaking about stop the story. Yeah, so you can come out the other side of this experience as the most emotionally strongest version of yourself, where you can harness all of what would be a negative emotional experience and help yourself put that forward, like move that forward. So whether it's anger or grief or whatever it is, you can ultimately you can harness it into the outcomes that you want. Jess, your question about stop the story is a part of a relationship with yourself. This is one of our mechanics that we teach in how you can, just like if you were talking to a friend, or the friend was talking to you and they were telling you all of these things that were going on. They were saying, this is the worst thing that ever happened, and this person doesn't love me, and whatever. We've all been in those conversations where somebody's been explaining something to us and we know that they're just in a real emotionally intense experience, but it's not necessarily factual. And the emotional experience of it is creating a distorted reality that the person is then feeling this trauma from. And if somebody's doing that on a regular basis, then they're experiencing life in a different reality than what it is that they want to create. So one of the mechanics that we teach is a simple self-leading interrupt, to just tell yourself to just stop the story, and actually to just pick up and tell yourself the story of what the life is that you want going forward. So as our clients are listening to themselves, and this is what I'm doing all day, every day of my life, you're listening to your own self, you're hearing your own thoughts, you're hearing your own speech that you're telling people, and you recognize that there's a distorted set of there's a distorted story or just non-factual things that are being said. You can just do an interrupt. All of our clients love this technique. Stop the story and make a shift and start putting in there the story of what you're creating, the future that you're creating. So there are hundreds of really powerful techniques that will condition your relationship with yourself and condition your emotional foundation to be stronger than ever. And as I've always said for years, and now it's more, just that much more important, our emotional foundation and our emotional leadership is what's going to lead all of us forward into this future that's really requiring us to be at our top emotional level. So I hope this helps everybody. That's my great intention. I'll continue. Oh, so I do need to wrap this right now as I head into a client session, a client session that I need to do. So I will continue on tomorrow. I'm going to be checking in as many times of the day as I can. And so I'm wrapping up with this part today, and I will continue on with some emotional techniques. I'll probably do something tomorrow morning. So I hope everybody can tune in, and I'll try to do something tomorrow night as well. All right, everyone. So thanks for being there. That's funny. Thank you, Jess. I'm so glad that everybody's listening. And stay tuned and share this with your friends. And if you think it will help them, and I'll continue to share emotional techniques and invite each of you to grow your emotional foundation further. All right, everyone. See you soon. Take care.